You're a manager, maybe even a new manager, and I know you are trying to do everything to the best of your ability because that's how we're wired. The problem is that as we try to do everything right, there are three common mistakes that we will make as managers, but especially as new managers. Welcome to the channel, Leadership with Mike. On this channel, I help you become a more confident leader, and I do that with no nonsense sense, if that makes any sense. Now, I get it. As a manager, you feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. You feel like there is so many things that you have to do. Well, let me be so kind as to add another thing. You need to avoid these three common mistakes, because if you're making these errors in a new job as a new manager, I don't know why my chair is click-clacketing, but it is. But anyway, if you are in a leadership position, these three errors, common mistakes, can really mess things up for you. The first one, and this comes definitely from a lot of people that I've met, a lot of people that I've worked with, is that they want to avoid conflict at all costs. And I get it. I understand conflict, at least in my understanding. I've been trained, I've learned, I've absorbed that conflict is a negative thing to happen. But I promise you that great things come from conflict. But here's the flip side. If you do not address some conflict that's happening in your work environment, on your watch, so to speak, what can happen is that maybe it's a small little thing. You don't want to address that John keeps coming in 5 minutes late. That's harmless, really. I mean, big picture, it's not ruining the day. It's 5 minutes. Okay. But if you don't address it with John, the next thing you know is Sally's coming in 10 minutes late. Well, it's only 5 minutes more than John. And Chris is coming in 15 minutes late, and Julia thinks that she can show up whenever. Now what do you have? You've built yourself a mountain out of a molehill by simply not addressing John for being 5 minutes late. And I'm not saying that, John, you're getting a 5-day suspension. I'm just saying we have to have the conversation about it. We have to understand, John, why are you late consistently 5 minutes? What's going on? How can we adjust so that you're not late for the 5 minutes? And then we don't have to worry about Sally and Chris and Julie and everybody else. And we nip it in the bud. Sometimes I think nip it in the butt, but it's nip it in the bud, just so you know. Anyway, when we address these minor issues, it can stop major conflicts in the future. The next common mistake that managers or leaders make is that they're too friendly. Now, I've made plenty of videos saying that you can be friendly with your staff. Of course, we're working together a long time. We have to interact with each other lots of times. We need to be friendly. We need to have little jokes and little ways to release some stress and converse with people that are in the trenches with us. But when that too friendly impedes your ability to lead the team, that's where we have the problem. The idea of being too friendly is where you go out for works after drinks. Again, not a problem in and of itself, but you go out for works after drink. you go out for drinks after work. I promise I have not been drinking, but you go after work for drinks. That's fine. But then it becomes you're chummy with John. And then it's going for lunch with John. Also okay. But now it comes time to, John, you have to do this part of the job that I know you don't like, but it is your turn on the rotation, whatever it might be. And now John's saying, but bro, I thought we were friends. I thought I wouldn't have to do that because we hang out. I know your family. We're good like that. If you're too friendly and you don't like conflict, this will become a problem. on the flip side, so long as you can control your environment in the sense that you can understand, John, that was pleasure, this is business. And John can understand that you are where you are. The idea is being firm but fair. And part of that is being firm and fair across the board. It doesn't matter if John's my brother, my father, my worst enemy. I should be treating him the same. So that's where the confusion of being too friendly can really bite you in the ass. The next common mistake that so many managers make, and this may sound like you're doing a good thing, but it's not, is that you're working too damn hard. And what I mean by that is that you're not necessarily doing the work or the responsibilities that you have as a manager. It's that you haven't learned how to delegate tasks. You're taking all the stuff and thinking that you have to do it all. I want to make sure you understand. Just because something has come to your desk, just because something has been given to you to make sure it gets done, it's not your responsibility to do it. It's your responsibility to make sure it's done. So that means you must be able to delegate to your team. Make sure Sally gets this part. Make sure John is looking after that. You, big picture, have to look and make sure that your team is doing it and able to do it. But let me just tie in this bonus part of working too hard is you're afraid to say no. Sometimes we have to say no. And I know as a manager, especially if you're in a new place, you want to be like, yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. Yes, I can do that. You're going to screw yourself. You're going to screw your team because you're taking on too much. You need to be able to say no. Or you need to be able, if it's your boss saying, I need you to do this and I need you to do that, at some point you need to say, okay, no problem, boss. But what would you rather me not do so that I can get this done? Because people will ask more of you and they will give you more tasks if they see you are ready, willing, and able and you continue to perform. But you can only do that for so long before you get burnt out. You can only do that for so long before you burn out your team. So don't work so hard. Now here's the thing. I know I give you an extra half a tip, but I'm going to give you a full extra bonus tip. Is that managers, we don't prepare for when we might be on the chopping block. And I say that now as the talks of a recession, of job loss, of layoffs is coming. You need to be prepared. And the best way for you to do that is to watch this video, which is 5 things that you as a manager can do to up-level your skill set, to up-level the value that you bring to the company. So go check this video out to make sure you're recession-proof. Ciao.